You say yes subconsciously, but never say yes just to avoid the shame of saying no. In this video, you're going to learn how yes can deteriorate you and how no can certainly advance you. This one word can revolutionize your existence. No, you won't always spiral into ruin because of a yes, but if you aren't aware, yes will quietly erode your power. Let's dive into the truth behind these two overlooked but potent words, yes and no. Saying no isn't just a refusal, it's a signal to the world that you have standards, priorities, a purpose. From experience, from my own personal experience, being bold enough to say no will earn you respect eventually. But saying yes too early, this costs your time, your credibility, and your energy. So I've learned this the hard way. I've compromised when I knew better, only to regret it scrambling to back out last minute. Why? Because I didn't say no up front. If I had, I wouldn't have looked finicky or flaky or in conflict with myself. Truth is, I do say no a lot. But sometimes I do still cave. I'll say yes when I'm tired or when I'm guilt-tripped and the regret hits hard. Because I know I could have been doing something that matters more. Something more in alignment with my internal self. So here's what I've learned. If you would rather be doing something else, then do that thing. Just do it. No apologies, no exceptions. Saying yes is fine when the work is done, when your systems are clean, your mission moves, and you've earned a moment of reset. But if you're distracted, behind, or avoiding discomfort, saying yes becomes a betrayal of your future self. And those you say yes to, they don't care what you sacrifice, and honestly, they shouldn't. Most people don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. Assume that, and you'll never misplace your loyalty ever again. It's better to be skeptical and strategic than naive and used. Every time you make yourself available, you're risking ROI, your return of investment. So make the math worth it. Set your standards. Stick to them. Saying no is your duty. Because if you don't, you'll pay for it with interest. To wield knows power, embrace the dark side. So Carl Jung, he said it best. We do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. So if you have to step into dark mode to use the power of no, step in. This practice takes guts. Dark mode takes a certain mind, one that doesn't need applause, one that knows no is good for you, no is good for them, no exposes illusions. No shatters expectations. Say no, feel the shame, prosper regardless. Then watch how those you once said no to benefit later. From the version of you that had the discipline to build. This is how truly valuable people become respected. Not overnight, not by people pleasing, but by building a life so aligned, even your no's become a gift. The path to becoming who you truly are requires distancing. That's Carl Jung. Your greatest asset is you, your mind, your body, your presence. It is property, sacred. And just like any sacred ground, it should not be open to just anyone at any time. Availability without boundaries leads to devaluation. Like someone who gives their body to everyone, or someone who leaves their front door open in the middle of the night. That's not openness, that's recklessness. Studies show boundary setters are perceived as 30% more credible. That's not fluff, that's data. Because when you become scarce, your value increases. This is basic economics, the one great law of supply and demand. So stop stretching yourself thin for others, for other people's agendas. You're not here to play savior. You're here to build your own mental, emotional, and spiritual empire. And speaking of saviors, the Christ analogy. This is the Jesus Christ analogy for you. Weight over availability. When Christ cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" It wasn't an abandonment in the ordinary sense. It was the burden of carrying the world's sin. He wasn't forsaken because he lacked worth. He was too available on purpose for our sake. He bore all of humanity's shame. He made himself entirely accessible to people who mocked, beat, and betrayed him. And in that divine moment of spiritual separation, Jesus took on the full weight of what it means to say yes to everyone, even to his own hurt. But here's the point. You are not Christ. You're not called to carry everyone. When you say yes to everyone, when you're constantly available, when you carry the burdens that are not yours, you crucify yourself. Christ gave everything so that you wouldn't have to. So why do we walk around acting like saviors, handing out access like candy, as if we can sustain unlimited demands? That's not love. That's self-destruction. And I'm talking to myself too. I mean, I literally wrote this letter for myself, and I'm doing this video talking to myself, educating myself, preaching myself, because I have to do better at doing this. Because what I want to do and what I'm aiming for, what I'm striving for, it's going to take you to be a bit more obsessive and a little bit more selfish and narcissistic in your own right. Because I believe the bigger the dream, the bigger the vision, the more focused you're going to have to be, the more in alignment with that you're going to have to be. You're going to have to really eliminate more distractions. I don't think all distractions are created equal. For the same thing, I don't think all visions are created equal. I don't think all goals are created equal, even though I'm not really that big on goals. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think dreams are all created equal. Some are bigger than others. And some of us, depending on what we want to do in life, we are going to have to really be more locked in than what we currently are. I think the more locked in you are, the more focused you are, the more concentrated you are, the more you're going to be in alignment with that vision. You may not know what to do at first. You may be starting off really messy, failing over and over again, but nobody said you have to be perfect. As a matter of fact, you can't be perfect. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're not allowed to be perfect. But you are required to be focused. It is your duty to be concentrated. It is your job to throw your entire self at it, to dedicate your entire soul to it. And if people just cannot seem to get that, I know it's better said than done. It hurts because, I mean, these are people that we care about. And these are people that we say we love. These are people, we want to help, we want to tend to, we want to care. But we have to remind ourselves that we can only do so much for people, especially if we're only doing so less for ourselves. The more we do for ourselves in time, the more we can help, the more we can give, the more we can be generous. We cannot pour from an empty cup. And other people, if they're doing the same thing, they wouldn't be demanding, expecting so much from you anyway. So you will have to really judge the people around you, really judge them on their behavior, judge them, see how their culture is, how they're living, what do they do when they first wake up in the morning to the time they go to sleep, what are their daily habits throughout the day. And when you start judging people based on that, and you start practicing filtering people out, and you also filtering out distractions and filtering out the thoughts in your mind and what you are consuming and what you are viewing and what you are listening to and what you are reading, you're just going to be in so much in a more alignment. And you're just, every single day is just going to become more simple, not easier, more simple and more clear. And you're just going to know more of what you're supposed to be doing walking down that path. That is the path of truth. That is the path of righteousness. That is the path of holiness. That is spiritual. And now you are becoming more soulful. You are investing more into your soul, investing more into your mind, and in time you are investing more into your spirit. You are earning with your spirit because you are awakening your spirit now, because your body is transforming. It's evolving. It's developing. This is the core philosophy of my brand, is personal development. Personal development is so simple. It sounds so what's the word? It sounds so generic, but if you really think about it, if you really think about what personal development, what human development really is, it is very, very deep and it's very broad at the same time. Because it takes a lot to dedicate your life to personal development. You can't develop yourself if you're not investing in your mind. You can't develop yourself if you're not investing in your soul. And doing those two things requires a lot of focus and attention. You are going to have to not be distracted. You are going to have to be intentional. Attention and attentional. Because if you're not, if you're slacking off in some area of your life, it's going to cost your personal development. So, from guilt to sovereignty, the world will guilt you, shame you, gaslight you into sacrificing your peace for their priorities. But your duty is to preserve your alignment, to trust your instincts, to say no with clarity, not cruelty. If people only love you when you're useful, that's not love, it's leverage. Don't confuse love with leverage. I say true love is people putting your best interests amongst theirs and vice versa. And they're not going to put their best interests and then try to instill it into you. They're going to put your best interests amongst theirs. They're going to want you to be for yourself. They're going to want you to build yourself, invest in yourself. They are going to be cheering you on to keep developing and getting better. People cannot really make you get better. You have to really want it for yourself. They can inspire you to get better. They can lead by example for you to get better. They can educate you on how to get better. They can give you the information on how to get better. But they really cannot make you, force you to get better. God can't even do that. It's your job to do that. That's why you are renting this body. It's your job. You was giving your life's duty to get the rental property for however long you're going to live, for you to develop this asset that you were given. You have to really take yourself serious. This is why it's so important to take yourself serious, because if you don't take yourself serious, nobody else will. You're not going to have any standards, and you're going to be violated and disrespected consistently and time again, and you're probably not even going to recognize it, to be honest. It's probably not even going to tangibly affect you. You're probably not even going to really feel it. In time you will. But in the beginning, it's just going to be subconscious to you. It's just going to be normal. It's going to feel like it's normal because your lack of self-awareness. You're sometimes not even going to be able to see when people are disrespecting you because of your lack of awareness. You're not even going to understand and recognize your behavior. You're going to be thinking that how you live is good, is right, is the correct way because of your lack of self-awareness. You have to be able to understand that you are always going to have to be holding yourself accountable for things, and you're going to have to take ownership for things, and it's always going to be your fault regardless of what you are involved in. The more you do that, the more aware you are going to be. So while you're doing this is all involved with how you would judge other people. If other people are not moving this way, the way that I'm saying, the way that what I'm talking about, behaving this way, if this is not their culture, and if what I'm saying to you sounds like something that you want to live your life by and dedicate yourself to, because I promise you, This, if you ignore these things and if you lack these things, you're going to be costing your development. And you have to be able to judge and use, not just judge, use good judgment of the people around you, because if they're not doing these things in their own life and they are around your circle, it's going to be it is going to be incredibly hard for you to do it, nearly impossible, because of the herd that you are keeping around. You have to cut these people off. You have to cut them out. And while you're cutting them out, yes, you're a one-man army. You stay focused on yourself. You stay obsessed with yourself. Just be narcissistic. I hate to use that word, but it's whatever. You're being narcissistic for the good. You are being productively narcissistic here. You're not getting over on people. You're not using people. You're just have to adapt the narcissism that's in. We all have some type of narcissism within us anyway. So just own it and use it productively. You don't have to be a narcissist when you're hurting others. You don't have to be selfish when you're hurting others. You're not exploiting people. People love calling others a narcissist, or they love calling people selfish. But are you ignoring the fact that you possibly exploit others? That you are costing others their development, their personal development? Have you ever acknowledged that? So being narcissistic, it's not always that bad. And being selfish, it's not always that bad. Am I hurting you by me getting what I want to get? By me going about it the ethical way, the moral way? And me being greedy, getting what I want from more than what I want for myself, more than I need for myself? But I'm not getting over on anybody. I'm doing it the right way. I'm doing it the legal way. So let them call you a narcissist. Let them call you selfish. Let them call you greedy. Whatever. Let them call you stingy. I am all those things productively. And you are all not those things unproductively. Because it is very possible for you not to be those things and for you not to be efficient. It's very possible for you to not be all those things and for you not to be effective. It's very possible for you to not be all those things and for you not to be productive. It's very possible for you to be all those things and for you not to be developing, becoming, and getting better. It is very possible for you to lack narcissism and for you to still remain stagnant. It's very possible. What is the worst thing in life? I guess the worst thing in life is not to be a narcissist, not to be selfish, not to be greedy. One of the worst things in life is for you to remain. Remain what, you say? Look at your life. Remain. Still. Not like still as in you are present within your peace. Still as in as a vegetable. You might as well be paralyzed. You are not growing. Your duty is to preserve your alignment, to trust your instincts, to say no with clarity, not cruelty. Let them call you selfish, like I said. Let them accuse you of being cold. You're not cold. You're finally warming up to yourself. Solitude is not loneliness. It's ascension.
Ascension. Ascension.
Ascension. Solitude is not loneliness, it's ascension. The world fears solitude because solitude reveals truth. That's why most people would rather numb themselves with distractions than face the weight of becoming whole. But when you step into that solitude with intention, you experience transformation. Not everyone is brave enough for that, but you are. You don't need constant connection to be whole. You need alignment. So from this day forward, remember this. No availability means a full return to thyself. That's sacred. Build the fortress first. An empty cup can't pour. A bankrupt soul can't bless. Before you give, build. Before you sacrifice, supply. Before you offer light, secure your own fire. Yes, there's still hope for you to give to others, but let's be clear. You're not Christ. You're not a prophet. You can't multiply fish and bread. You can't call down manna from heaven. That was miracle economy. You're living in reality economics now. And in this economy, God gave you hands. Use them. God gave you breath. Multiply it through focus, not fatigue. You don't get to operate like the Son of God when you haven't even mastered your own spirit. This leads to the economics of self. There's a term you must know. And maybe if you went to school for economics, if you took an economics class, or if you listen to certain economists, or if you listen to my videos, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this term before. The invisible hand. Adam Smith coined it, but look deeper. It's not just markets, it's mission. It's the spiritual logic of free enterprise. It's how your private discipline can ripple outwards, blessing lives you'll never meet. When you build yourself, you build for the future of others too. Your family, your lineage, your people. The invisible hand of purpose moves when you invest in you. The reward is generational. Behavioral economics proves it. Self-reliant individuals generate more wealth over a decade. Those are facts. It's not just money, that's impact. So what's the rule? I've said this time and time again. Obsessively invest in yourself, compound your wisdom, compound your focus, compound your capital. The ROI, return on investment, of no is staggering. The ROI of no is staggering. The gut, the guide, the guardian. Your gut is not just intuition, it's your oracle. When it says no, listen. When it clinches, protect. That's your ancient wiring, reminding you your time is sacred. Every yes is a silent trade. Every yes steals from a no. So weigh your yeses like a king protects his coin. Ask yourself this. Does this yes contribute to the long-term fortress I'm building? Or does it tear a brick out? Each no you say with conviction is another stone laid in your wall of freedom. In this fortress, your authentic self thrives. Your energy is valued, and your work speaks louder than words. You don't owe the world your depletion. You owe it your transformation. And within this fortress, you will transform. The more you say no, the more you focus, the more you build, you are going to be transforming, and you are going to be this person in time that you can have ever imagined beyond your vision. Just keep going. It's easier said than done. But what life is worth living if it was so easy? If it was just handed to you? It's not life. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back very soon. Have a great day.